Hey, welcome to the 98% podcast where we hear real stories from real people. And I'm here with Jeremy. So, Jeremy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. Thanks for having me. My name is Jeremy. I grew up in Osage Beach, Missouri, kind of like you. And I've been living in Colorado Springs for about 12 years now. I love pickleball. I played really just sports in general all day. Um, See, I'm pretty nervous. But yeah, no, I'm a Medicare broker for business. And yeah, I'm a sports guy. I love dogs. I love humans. I'm engaged to Stacy. She's my wonderful fiance. She's definitely the one who keeps me going and keeps me organized. So would be lost without her. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. And we'll jump into the
Awesome.
good stuff pretty soon. And I'll get the
Yeah,
sweat off my forehead pretty soon. So bear with
for
me.
sure.
Thank you.
For sure. Okay, so how do you know me?
Oh yeah, good question. So yeah, I mean, I know you. Obviously, I grew up with you, went to school with you my whole life. Definitely grew up as friends, and so yeah, I've known you for really since I was 5 or whenever you moved to Osage, right? I mean, you went there your whole life, so
Yeah, I went there from first grade on. Were you there at
yeah.
first
So
grade? You were there
6 years
earlier.
old on, definitely have
Uh-huh.
known you since then. So um, yeah, definitely just been friends. Been a long time, really, since high school. Obviously, since then we've definitely grown some distance, but yeah, overall, as a child, I think we spent some time together. Definitely grew up in the same crowds to an extent. But yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking about it today, actually. I was on my car ride and there's for some reason, there's some memory with me and you that just lives in my mind all the time, and it makes no sense whatsoever. So it's
what memory is that?
okay. So I'm pretty sure we were in the same third grade class, if I recall. Was that Miss
Okay,
Creasel? Miss
Miss
Creasel? Do you remember her?
Miss Creasel. Yeah.
Okay, so we were in the same class, and for some weird reason, I just always remember me and you. I don't know if you were competitive with me, but I was competitive with you on trying to turn in our assignments the fastest. Do
Oh.
you remember that? I
Like
literally
the
always
math,
remember
like the math
all the math,
assignments.
yeah, all the
Oh,
math, all the stuff where it's like, okay, whenever you get it done, whatever. And I just remember like it was always like either me or you finishing first, of like running to the back, dropping it in there. I don't know
yeah.
why I remember that, but I totally do.
Yo, I forgot about that. That is so true. Those math assignments, I feel like there was like State or Stephanie Preble was kind of like that. I forget. There was a few of us that were like racing to have that thing completed the fastest. That was funny. Oh,
I remember that.
that's a great memory.
I know.
That's
Like I
cool.
said, it's just a random thought, but I don't know why that always sticks in here, but it is.
That's
And then the other
awesome.
stuff is I remember me, you, and Aaron Panlilio always playing basketball after school in high school too.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Homlicek was there too a lot of the times.
Yep,
And
Matt
then
Helmachek.
were you there when we were playing with Chance Phillips quite a bit? We started playing with Chance a
Yeah.
little
Yep,
bit.
yep, yep. I was
Uh,
there.
yeah. So, and he was funny, dude. Chance was a funny character in general. I wonder what he's doing now. I should reach out to him.
I don't know. I remember going over to his house though, and we were all playing Halo 2, and I was
Yeah,
and I was so
the
bad
four
at
squares.
it. Yeah,
Dude,
I was
we did
so
that for
bad.
a long time.
We
That
did.
was
I
a
remember.
consistent thing. Basketball and Halo,
Hmm.
and we would either order like some McDonald's or Taco Bell.
Yeah,
So
dude. Yeah, and I never played it, so you guys just always kicked my butt all the time at Halo. I just felt like such a noob running around, and you guys just had it all figured out, and it's like, what the heck is going on, guys? I don't understand.
yeah, and I wasn't very good myself, but definitely people that were good with the pistol and sniper, it was a different world. They were better than me. So,
Yeah,
but it's crazy. Like fun times
I
for
know
sure.
for sure.
Uh,
Okay, so I always like to do this before me and you get started. But if this is your first time tuning into an episode, how we do this is I bring a guest on, I give them the questions in advance, and they have as much time to kind of go through it as possible. And the goal is for you all as the audience to be able to connect with, hopefully, with Jeremy and his stories. So, right, it's real stories, real people. So, yeah. So, Jeremy, we're going to start at the beginning. So, what was growing up like for you?
yeah, so that's just like a big question. I was thinking about that and like, really kind of where do you begin? There's so many different aspects of growing up and, physically like playing sports, friendships, but also like, just household relationships and trauma and moving. And so just such a big question. So I made some notes. I'm not really a note taker. I'm usually just a fly off the cuff type of guy.
Hmm.
But I was like, I really gonna need some notes for this. So these are good questions. And so family, growing up, I was a middle child of kind of an integrated family. I'm my mom's first child, her oldest, but then she married my stepdad, and he had four kids that are older than me in
Hmm.
a way, right? And we're all right next to each other. So it's like one out of 1 year out the other, you know. And so, growing up in the middle, you're kind of in a way forgotten about, but you're not forgotten about in a way because my dad and I, we just struggled. My stepdad, and yeah, we fought a lot, and that was not exactly fun. But I was a mama's boy, and I was my mom's baby, so in a way, I got special privileges. Maybe not privileges, but special like extra snuggles maybe that I
Okay.
needed.
Yeah.
uh, so like you got the family aspect, and we were pretty low income growing up with seven kids in a trailer. And I got to say, I didn't understand it as a kid, and I used to get so mad at him for it. But he would bring in his siblings and their kids sometimes when they needed a place to stay. And so we're in this double wide trailer with seven kids, two adults, and then we would bring in another family with three kids. And where are we going to put us? Um, and so I think growing up in that time period was just tough for me. I never wanted to be home. I always wanted to be at friends' house. Which thankfully I had some good friends. Honestly, the Akana family saved me when I was younger. Like they gave me an outlet outside of my home. It was really just growing up, like, I felt like a lot of friends had parents that would take them to other friends' homes so they could go hang out and pick them up and that kind of stuff. That really wasn't a thing of my childhood. I kind of lived out in the boonies, as you know.
Hmm.
And my parents just weren't taking me to another friend's house. That wasn't a thing. Like, if you can go over there, they're going to come get you. And so thankfully, like, I got to go over to Chris Akana's house a lot. And I spent a lot of time with him and his family. And really, like, they were a big part of my childhood, in a way, growing up. So, yeah, my childhood was good, but at the same time, it was, I think as I reflect back on my childhood a lot, when I don't really, I don't know if you just like hold on to the negatives, the trauma, like maybe that's
Hmm.
because we're still working through it, maybe. And so I
Hmm.
just remember all these bad things. But as I was thinking about it today, I got so many good things as well, that happened in my childhood. So I got good memories as well. But yeah, I was mama's boy. My dad and I fought a lot. I was always kind of trying to leave the house to either go play sports or hang out with youth group or hang out with a friend, anything I could do to really get away from home. Um, and then so you got different phases of your childhood. You got the elementary phases where you're just kind of like playing games, and then you got your like teenage years, right, which is a whole different ball game. And I kind of got lucky and got introduced to the Riverview Youth Group, and I
Hmm.
started going there like probably my freshman year in high school, maybe eighth grade year. And thankfully, I only went there because it was fun. I didn't care about church. It was just
Hmm.
fun to go play basketball and ping pong and this and that. And then I really got to know Christ at that age. And that was a huge deal for me. That was a safe place for me to go always and have someone that I could always just be loved by. Also during that, I got to build a relationship with Steve Adams, which was the youth pastor there.
Hmm.
I mean, Steve, he was also our
Hmm.
seventh grade history teacher.
Yep.
And through those vital teenage years, I think maybe this is why I love teenagers so much and like helping them and their age group. But I just think through 16 and 19 is such a vital time of like who we are as men, or going to mold us for at least the next 5 to 10 years in a way before
Hmm.
we figure out who we are. Um, and Steve was like this soft, genuine human that just always let me come hang out and have cool conversation and deep conversation about the hard stuff and the scary stuff and just giving me unconditional love. It was like, in a way, my first time of ever kind of seeing what the closest thing to unconditional love. And so I think I had this. This is just a rabbit hole. I go down rabbit holes. I almost kind of correlated Steve with Christ for a long time. That took me a little bit to like figure out to distinguish the two. Steve was not my God in a way, but I think I grew with God at the same time as like I had this what he became maybe a small father figure to me in that moment because me and my dad were just rough. We struggled through most of my teenage years. Um, I don't know where else, but really youth group. And then after that, I'm an adult. So, you know, you think you're going to go change the world, out of high school, you're like, I'm going to do all these crazy things and I'm going to be rich and travel the world and affect all these humans and change everything. And then kind of life hits you. You kind of wake up real quick and you're like, oh, I'm going to the military. I'm joining the Navy, reserves. And now when I come back home from the reserves, do I go to college? Do I get a job? What do I do? And yeah, it's kind of a weird place. Like I'm back at Lake of the Ozarks with not really talking to any friends from high school. Um, yeah, I just felt lost. And so ended up getting a job at Kalo, which is, helping teenagers with reactive attachment disorder. That was huge for me, just being able to learn how to love through relationships, and build instead of like punishment and, instead of time out, time in, they, when you did something wrong at Kalo in a way, like when you lashed out, you had time in. So we brought you closer and we had cool conversations with you. What's really going on? What's really causing these behaviors? And so I had a lot of cool mentors there that kind of helped me. Hey, it's okay to be soft. Growing up, fighting with my dad all the time, I wasn't very soft, even though I wanted to be, I think. I just didn't know how to be, and I was fully chaotic in my head. I was definitely ADHD to the max, and just never could slow down and say, "Hey, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to hug somebody." And I think Kalo really gave me like as a man, like growing into being my own man. It's okay to just hug someone and tell them you love them, and yeah, and so that was a huge blessing. And then right after that, moved to Colorado with my like four of my best friends. They're still live out here. They're all my groomsmen at my wedding in about 2 months. So pretty cool. Just very unique group of guys that I've been able to maintain a friendship with and interact with daily for the last 15 years of my life. Like, how cool is that? So Colorado's just been a blessing for me. We had adventure. Honestly, one thing that was really cool in the first few years in Colorado was just opening my mindset. Growing up at the lake, I think it's just a smaller community, a smaller, maybe not as much demographic or changes or differences. And coming out here, I definitely had to change the way I talked and to change the way I like viewed people. I had to be more open to loving things that I wasn't comfortable with and understanding how to accept and yeah, just it helped me love deeper, love better. um, but also just more adventure. Like I just love, I don't have to worry about bugs. Like I love being out here. I can go camping all the time. I never get mosquitoes, man. I never have to worry about a tick on my dog. So that's pretty cool. Um, and yeah, I've been blessed over these last few years. So I came out here to Colorado 12 years ago, worked at the zipline courses for the Broadmoor. That was actually fun. The first job I've had, like working with families that wasn't like mental health. I just get to create joy. I just get to show them fun, and go take them to a rad adventure in a way. And so that was cool. Then I worked with autistic kids for a couple years out here, and became a supervisor there. That was kind of tough. COVID hit, and that was kind of my cue to, I probably needed to step away. Um, which I love the kids, but just a tough job in general. And that's when I started the Medicare world. So I've been doing that for about 5 years. Met my fiance through the Medicare world, through my job. And she's now moved out here. We've been living together for a year and a half. And honestly, yeah, life's a blessing.
That's
So there's
awesome.
my story from like day one to here.
Okay, I like it. Okay, so I have a few follow ups. So first of all, I want to say
Good.
congrats to your wedding in 2 months. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's that's awesome. And then so I have two ones that I want to go back to from your childhood because you mentioned not so good memories, but you also mentioned good memories. So I have two questions you can answer with in whatever order you want. Is
Yeah.
one, what was one of the best memories that you remember as a kid with your family? And
Ooh,
then two, what do you wish that you would have had as a child that they would have been able to give you that you have to give yourself now?
who did I have to give myself now? So I guess best memories. That one's probably a little bit harder, just in general of like with my whole family. Probably camping.
Mhm.
I just I'm an outdoors guy. I just love I don't know activity and you know sometimes I know it's kind of sad, hard to find a great memory with my whole family. My sisters are better at it. My memory is just not the best sometimes.
Mhm. Yeah,
So um, but yeah, just probably camping. When we were able to do that, I always enjoyed it. Yeah, I just love getting away from the house, I guess. So
okay.
when we get camping, what was the second question?
What would you wish that you would have had as a child that you've had to give yourself now?
I could go a few different ways on that one. Um, there's a material aspect to that too, where
Yep.
I had a lot of friends that were wealthy and I
Mhm.
wanted the right sports equipment. I wanted good
Mhm.
cleats. I wanted good shoes. I wanted good quality clothes. I didn't want to shop at Walmart, honestly.
Mhm.
And so yeah, every year going to school, shopping at Walmart was tough for me. And, I remember not really being able to get the athletic appliances that I wanted or needed or other kids got that I didn't get. So that's probably that.
Got it.
That's a
Okay.
material thing. There's other stuff too, but I don't know. That's probably a different rabbit hole. That'd take a long time.
Okay. Fair. Okay. So, yeah, no, I love that. Okay. So next question, what's the biggest struggle that you've made it through?
Oh, whew, whew, biggest struggle. Okay, I got different phases on this.
Okay,
So
let's go.
I might change this question for you in a way. I might
Let's do
adapt
it.
it because
Okay,
there's
let's do it.
yeah. So I got this one's a good one, by the way. I like this question. So, but there's childhood struggles, and then
Mhm.
there's longevity struggles, and then there's an adult struggle in a way.
Okay.
So childhood struggle, my biggest childhood struggle. You know, really just being molested and being
Mhm.
alone in that for a decade. Um, I won't go into too many details on my family side of that, but yeah, it started when I was 6. Um, could have stopped a little sooner than it did. When I say a little, like 7, 8 years sooner than it did, but really went
Mhm.
until I was 16.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was able to talk to Steve Adams, actually, the youth pastor I was telling you about when I was 16. And yeah, he was person I was able to finally like, I knew if I told him, he was like legally obligated to tell the police,
Mhm.
even if I told him not to. Um, just as a youth pastor, he would have to do that. And so, yeah, I would say biggest childhood struggle was probably that, even though here's what's weird about that. As it's going on, I don't feel like I'm struggling all the time. I feel like I'm struggling. Like I don't really want to do it. Like I don't really
Mhm.
want to, I want to talk about it to other people and see
Mhm.
if, I think that was probably the struggle. I never struggled to love my grandpa. I never struggled
Mhm.
to do that. Like no matter what, I always and part of me hated him for it, but part of me never it never felt like he was my grandpa in a way. Like I've always
Yeah.
felt I needed to take care of him.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, that was probably my biggest childhood struggle, but really just being alone in that.
Yeah.
Uh, go ahead if you got a question
Yeah, yeah. No,
related
for
to that.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, dude, thank you for sharing that. I can't imagine what that was like. Now, how how do you feel like because I mean, I know sometimes when we get older, we tend to downplay that a little bit, like, but how does that affect you now? Do you see where that maybe still plays a factor in you today?
Well, nah, I don't fully know if it does. I think there's maybe
Okay.
stuff does. I would
Yeah.
say there's, oddly enough, now this is something I've never said out loud. I probably never even, this is probably a trauma from it, is
Hmm.
when I hang out with kids, not that
Hmm.
I ever want to do anything with a kid,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
almost feel like I'm not even allowed to play with a kid in certain ways, like not certain ways, weird ways, but like certain ways, and like just play with a kid that might not
Hmm.
be related to me because it could be perceived as weird, or something
I
like
gotcha.
that. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
sometimes I think about it as I'm even hanging out with a kid. I hang out with kids all the time. Like, am I doing something wrong? Even though
Hmm.
I know I'm not doing anything wrong, but sometimes I'll
Yeah. Yeah.
second guess myself. Um,
Yeah. So it's just like a hyper awareness then, just like because of that happened, you're just kind of not sure if this what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and
yeah,
almost
like I feel like I
overthinking it.
know what's appropriate, but sometimes I'll still
Yeah.
like even like I'll my boundaries are probably in a way sometimes more strict than maybe other people's might
Oh yeah.
be
Yep. Yep.
because I'm thinking about it in ways maybe people
Hmm.
wouldn't because of what's happened to me.
There. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't. It's hard to explain in a
Yeah.
way, but yeah, yeah. Try to put the words with it. But I don't think even as a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old or 15-year-old, 16 or 17-year-old, like talking about it, I've always been able to talk about it.
Hmm.
Um, and for me, it's like if I could use my story to help somebody else that's being sexually abused, because most people, not most, but a great percentage of people you see are sexually abused.
Hmm.
Then yeah, that's awesome. And like I said, I never hated my grandpa overall. I loved him. Like it was just an uncomfortable, unpleasant thing I just had to do consistently.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's kind of it's hard to explain. Like I can be angry but not hate in a way.
Hmm.
I can be angry about the situation, but still like, it just is what it is. Like
Hmm.
it's just part of me. It was part of me growing up.
Yeah. No, for
Like
sure.
it happened so long that I wouldn't know what life was without it. Like I actually
Yeah.
don't know what life a childhood would be without it
Mm,
because
got
it
it.
kind of happened the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And you hit an interesting point there too, as you mentioned, it happens more than I think we realize, and that's actually totally true. Because I never experienced that, I just you automatically assume that people's childhoods are somewhat similar to yours. So I just assume like, oh, that probably doesn't happen that often. But dude, I've had multiple people on this podcast. I haven't had a
yeah,
ton of episodes by any means. I've had you're going to be episode I think like 60, maybe 50 under 60. And yeah, out of those people, there's been a handful of people that have had that happen. And it just blows my mind that that happens more often than we realize.
yeah. I think it's 25% of men and 33% of women, at least.
Mm.
It might be higher than that now.
Dude, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's a
Wow.
thing.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was that. Like I never thought it was. I don't think it affects me too much, but maybe it does.
Mhm.
And if it does, I don't fully know where it does. Besides,
Okay. Yeah.
sometimes every once in a while, hanging out with kids, I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Even though I'm not. So
Got it.
yeah, I think it's
Okay.
just a natural fear that comes from it. So,
Got it. Okay.
uh, but yeah, and then I got another one. So
Yep.
longevity
Okay.
struggle. So that's just trauma, right?
Hmm.
Shoot, trauma as a whole, still working through it to this day. And I don't think we ever stop. Right. So
Hmm.
what is our biggest struggle? Like, yeah, getting molested it's a struggle, right? That's not exactly fun for 10 years, but that's just physical struggles, a little mental, and they're probably a lot mental more than I thought.
Hmm.
But like trauma's real, and that's part of that trauma. Like that,
Hmm.
that's part of it. But me and my dad, I went to Thailand last July. I got back from Thailand. I went and spent some time with my dad. And over these last 10 years, my dad and I have been really repairing. Like I've
Hmm.
been really intentional about let's not fight. Let's not do this. And start off just by walking away every once in a while. We would usually just
Hmm.
fight for the longest time.
Yep.
We'd make it 10 minutes in the same room. And holidays, man, I'd come over for a holiday and I would leave within 5 minutes because my dad would say something really crazy, ignorant, or at least in my opinion, or I probably offended him too. And I would like give my mom a hug, love you, and I'd leave. And that happened for years. I felt like, as my younger 20s, and now it's like my dad's becoming one of my best friends. But that's taken hard work, and so I go back to coming back from Thailand. This is crazy, man. Like, Thailand was such a healing trip. You get to go see things and be around people and culture that you just never seen, and it's so healing. They're so loving, and it was just so special. I cried so much on that trip. And yeah, coming back from Thailand, we're taking a 16-hour flight, and everybody's sleeping. It's like midnight, maybe. I don't know what time it is, and I just start falling. And I'm bawling and I'm bawling and I'm texting Tiffany on the flight, and I get Wi-Fi every once in a while. So it'll go through, and sometimes it won't. I'm like, please answer. And she answers for a little bit, and then she falls asleep. And Tiffany's my sister, by the way, for whoever doesn't know. Um, but, and so I'm just sitting there bawling, and really what's hitting is I'm so thankful for my parents. I'm just so thankful um, for what they gave up for me. And as a child, I am sitting here bashing my dad, like bashing him my whole childhood. And granted, he was mean to me. Like, we went at it, but I was mean. We were poor, and I let him know it. Um, and I'm sitting here at 36 years old, and I'm balling on a plane, just so thankful for my dad. Uh, he came from nothing. As you get older, you get to look at your dad and older people as humans and not just dad. Like, he's just a human. He's a broken human, right?
Yeah.
That his dad was in prison. His mom lived off welfare her whole life. He's moving from apartment to apartment to apartment because they're getting evicted every year, right? Every year. 7 kids, 1 mom, no money, nothing, going from apartment to apartment to apartment. And I only moved twice in my whole childhood. Right. And I'm thinking, Dad, you suck because I don't have all these cleats, and I don't have my gloves for football that I want, or the best baseball glove. And you won't give me a car, or you won't give me a ride to my friends or whatever. And you're the worst dad ever. And at 36, I get to realize, like, he did so much better than what his parents did. Where he came from, he did so much better. He did so good at what he had to work with. He didn't go to high school. He didn't graduate. He didn't do all these things. He came from nothing, not even knowing how to stay in a house, not even knowing what staying in one place for over a year looked like. And he had 7 kids by the age of 22 to deal with. So he's still growing up, learning how to be a human, learning who the hell he is. And he's raising 7 kids. It's a miracle he even kept us. It's a miracle they survived. And so when I get to look at it from that aspect, it just takes me back. And it really hit home coming from Thailand. And, so I come back 2 weeks later, I go to Missouri, and I spend time with my dad, and I'm making it very intentional. Like, Dad, we're going to have a talk. Not an option, non-negotiable. So we had this talk. And we're going to get to this question later, but one of my gifts, is just knowing how to connect and be vulnerable and get someone to get deeper if I want, and help them be safe in that. Well, my dad had never seen him cry until he had a triple bypass like 3 years ago, and we were all crying over him, and he teared up a little bit. It's like the only tears I've ever seen him have. So me and my dad are talking to him, just telling him how thankful I am for him, and like how much he has done in his life, and that I'm just sorry I was a bad son in a way. And I wasn't a bad son, but just a lost son, and how mean I was to him, and that I just appreciate him and I love him and all these things, right? And my dad started sharing a little bit about his childhood, and like his goal as a dad was just to let us know that we can live in our house and then we can stay in one spot. That was like his goal. And to me, that's absurd in a certain way. But
Uh-huh.
to look back at where he came from and like it makes sense. And as my dad's telling me this, he's like apologizing for things he doesn't need to apologize for, but he's bawling. He's just bawling and bawling and bawling. And it was the coolest moment I've ever had with my dad by far. Yeah. And so now we'll fast forward a little bit, 6 months to Christmas. And my dad walks up to me and he just gives me a hug. He never gave me a hug out of nowhere for no reason and told me he loved me. And now my dad walks up and tells me he loves me and just gives me a hug out of nowhere. Like that was the coolest thing ever. So, yeah. So short question, long answer. Longevity tough, longevity struggle. Trauma's real and we're still working through it. It never stops. And so, man, I could just go on forever on that subject because it's just a big subject to me. But and then I put adult struggle. So I'll move on. Unless you got actually go questions. Come on.
Dude, well, no, I just want to say that's beautiful, man. Like that's because the thing about that is like, I mean, you mentioned earlier, right? Like you had this like anger, almost like this hatred you said, right? Right. Just because of that. And then you had an experience that kind of shifted everything. And what I think is so cool is that you took the initiative, right? You took the first step in order to like repair that. And it's wild because it's like you showed him love and you got to see it kind of come back from him, which
Yeah.
is which is wild.
So I have this talk a lot. I'm a weirdo,
Mhm.
Ricky. Um, if you can't make someone feel safe, if you're in an impasse with somebody, right? Someone has to make the first move of creating safety.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. Whoever understands that more needs to be the first one.
Hmm.
So if I understand that I have to create safety for my dad to even be able to have this relationship, then it's my duty to do it. And so, yeah, like I we've worked on that for years, and I probably been working on it a lot longer than him, maybe, and maybe not. Maybe I just didn't know, right?
Hmm.
But I also took a long time to figure out how to create safety for him
Hmm.
to feel vulnerable enough so he could be vulnerable, right? And so that's part of the challenge, right? I wasn't able to do that at 24, but I was maybe able to do that at 34, 35,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a cool progressive incline on our relationship. Like, yeah, what's weird is I'm a mama's boy to a fault. I love going to see my mama. Like I love it. But here over these last couple of years, I've been like, "Hey, Dad, can we hang out?" And
Yeah.
my mom's like super jealous. So she's like, "I don't like this. You're calling for your
Uh,
dad and not me." So yeah, um, yeah. Thanks for letting me share that.
no, well, thank you for sharing it. No, and I think that just speaks to the power of love, right? Like I don't
Yeah,
think we realize how powerful that is.
it's the most powerful, the biggest thing we
Mhm.
got in the world, the
Mhm.
biggest thing that's existed ever. People, I mean, if
100%.
people don't, I hope people figure it out at some point before they die, right? My
100%.
goal in life is like to help people learn how to love themselves unconditionally before they die, because
Yep.
it's one of the saddest things I think most people don't.
Mhm.
And I think we all struggle with it to an extent because what is
Yeah.
unconditional love? But like we're all fighting for it, right? But
Mhm.
the closer we get, the better dying I think is in a way. I
100%.
don't, yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right, adult struggle. So
Okay.
I had a third one. I told you this one was going to be a little different. So adult struggle. So I went through this weird phase at 29, like maybe like right after I hit 30. I had this like pressure in my groin.
Mhm.
Wasn't painful, wasn't anything but a weird pressure. And I'm talking about for a long time, months. And so I went to doctors, I went to the clinics, I went everywhere I could. And they're like, dude, there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm like, no, there's something not right. Like, I haven't had this pressure in my groin for 6 months for no reason. Like, there's something there.
Mhm.
Come to find out, well, like, as this is going on, seriously, I am already like, I remember laying in the bathtub and talking to myself out loud how I'm going to tell my sister and my mom that I got cancer, I'm going to die.
Mhm.
And that sounds stupid, but when as pressure's been there and every doctor's telling me there's nothing wrong, I seriously went through this mental funk of it ended up being a pinched nerve in my back. And once I took some physical therapy, like 8 months later, it was totally fine. Um,
Mm.
so it was like nothing but a pinch nerve. But through that process, my mental took a huge hit. Probably
Hmm.
the darkest time of my life when it came to like, who am I? What am I? Am I going to die? Like, even after I knew I wasn't dying, like I couldn't shake it. It was probably 2 or 3 years of like mental. It was the first time I ever thought like I used to think crazy people like you just create it yourself unless you're just mentally like unless there's a mental disorder, right?
Hmm.
But this was the first time I thought you can actually go crazy. Like I actually was like struggling to the point where like, am I losing it?
Hmm.
And I was like, for the first time in my life, I had an empathy for people that, in a way, what I would call went crazy that I never had before. And I actually thought, man, you actually could go crazy if you get down the rabbit hole far enough and you don't have someone help you out of it. And I was there, and I thankfully had a great person, great people in my corner to help me out of it. But not everybody has that. Um, so yeah, that's my adult one. But
Yeah.
obviously, there are different answers, but they're different struggles. Like as a child, like being molested was no easier or tougher in a way than thinking I was going to die and losing and going down a rabbit hole that definitely shook me for years, in a way like so I didn't know how to fully answer that question. They're just a different type of struggle.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for letting me go down the rabbit hole.
You're welcome. No, I like it. That's like my favorite question that I give anyways, because I like to hear what people go through because I think it's fascinating. Um, so to connect with one of your stories, I kind of relate to it. So I'd still say my biggest struggle was my divorce in general. That was my biggest one. But I did have something happen where this happened a long time ago. So I was noticing so basically, I was noticing some small things that were affecting my health that I thought were super small, no big deal. Years pass, all of a sudden, I'm like, man, I'm like having trouble sitting down. What's going on? That makes no sense. So same thing, and then every once in a while, I would get growing pain as well, randomly, and I'm like, dude, what's going on? And there were times where, like, I don't know what it is about that area, but it makes you think, like, dude, maybe I have cancer, maybe I have
Yeah.
something else. Like, what's going on?
Phew.
And dude, I remember going through that too, and just being like, dude, this sucks. And then it got to the point where it just kept escalating, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I was like, okay, and I'm big about trying to figure these things out. So I was like, okay, well, what am I putting in my body all the time? And I was like, well, so I decided to start doing like elimination diet. So I cut out gluten for a while to see if it was that. No. Cut out dairy. Was it that? No. And the last thing I cut out was I decided, like, you know what? I have 2 cups of coffee a day. I'm going to cut out coffee just to see if that does anything. I cut coffee and all my symptoms went away. And come to find out, I had an inflamed prostate, and it was caused from coffee or caffeine. So it was causing me to have issues sitting down and everything. And it was all from coffee. Once I cut coffee, no issues anymore. So it makes me think, like, how many people could possibly be going through something like that, and it's coffee related. It's insane.
That is wild. That's wild. Coffee.
Dude. Dude, yeah, and I dealt with it for, like, I don't know, 6 to 8 years, dealt with this issue, and it just progressively got worse and worse and worse. And then yeah, and then just doing an elimination diet, I realized, like, I fixed it somehow. And yeah,
What?
inflamed prostate. It's crazy.
That is crazy. What? I would have never,
Mhm.
Colby, this is off topic, but one time I get bad heartburn. Like I'm
Okay.
usually pretty heartburn guy for years and years and years. And I'm eating Tums like candy. And Colby said, stop eating sugar. I'm like, well, that ain't gonna do anything. I eat spicy food all the time. I eat, pepperonis, acidic food all the time. That ain't gonna do anything. He said, stop eating sugar. It'll work. I'm telling you. He said, I stopped eating sugar. I don't have heartburn. And no shit, dude. I stopped eating sugar. I don't have heartburn ever.
Isn't that
Ever.
wild?
They're wild. As soon as
Yeah.
I drink sugar, like if I'll
Mhm.
drink a soda or put sugar in like my diet again, boom, heartburn all the time. It's
Dude.
crazy.
Yep. I know. And I feel like there's so many issues that are caused just by what we're putting in our body. It's that simple. And if you can
Most
eliminate
right,
them,
most of
it's
them.
going to fix most of the issues. Yes,
Yeah, no
exactly.
doubt. So no doubt.
Okay, here we go. So next question. So what are you currently going through that's positive or negative?
Yeah, positive. So honestly, I'm in a weird state where I'm at the best point in my life. I'm at my probably happiest state in my life. So just some positives. My business is going well.
Mhm.
I have a Medicare business and I work with senior benefit services, and that is just a blessing. Through that, I get more time freedom than I ever thought I could have. I have more financial freedom than I ever thought I could have. And I just get to be my own boss. And that's probably the biggest blessing of all of it. I get to do what I want when I want. And yeah, I like that. So, business, work, career wise, I still got goals and want to grow, but I'm very
Mhm.
blessed to where I'm at. And as a man, when you spent years thinking you're going to do certain things and you don't do them and live a certain lifestyle or whatever, hit certain metrics, and that's tough. And so I think it's nice to get closer to that and learn how to dream again and have goals and chase them and all this stuff. You kind of forget how to do that when you just go through the 9 to 5 and you're just like, oh, this is life. That's what life is. Well, that's just bullshit. That's not life. Like, fuck, we got goals and dreams. We got shit to do. So, work's good. So, business is good. Obviously, I'm getting married in a couple months.
Mhm.
Um, I couldn't be more excited. I'm 37. My biggest goal in life has always been to be a great dad. Like, all I want to do is be a great dad. And I think when I was 17, 18, it was like my biggest goal. That was like all I wanted to do was like figure out how to get married and be a dad. And, you know, you hit your 30s and 33 hits and 34 hits and you're single and you're like, man, maybe I don't want to be a dad anymore. Like maybe
Mhm.
I'm just like too out of shape and I can't keep up and I'm too selfish and I like doing my own thing. And like, am I too old to have a kid? And then, finding Stacy and being with her, like I'm like, yo, we could do this together. Like I can be a dad with you by my
Mhm.
side. I can do anything, and I'm gonna be an awesome dad. Like, let's go. So I'm ready to get married and start working towards a family. I'm very excited about that. So yeah, just very blessed. My dogs couldn't be any more thankful. Ginge and Bruce, the beanie, just love my dogs. So it can't be like it just head over heels for them. I love dogs more than I love humans, and it might be the only thing I love more than humans. And so yeah, we're blessed with two great dogs, adventure. Um, and then really the main thing, probably the biggest blessing, is just my mentality at 37 years old. Um, I have a mentality of gratitude right now that I've never had before, like I've never had before. Like really, it's just at an all-time high. I'm just so thankful for so many things, which is why I think, I don't think my life is so much better than it was 4 or 5, 10 years ago in a way. I just think I'm more grateful.
Mhm.
Like I think I've learned how to like appreciate like things in the tough times and like just understanding gratitude like I've never understood it to this extent. Oh man, I just like it's life changing in a way. Um, just to have the perception or the mentality of gratitude in any situation, as many as you can, makes your life that much more better, like that much more positive. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's probably been my biggest excitement of who I am right now. I also have just like, 5 years ago, I forgot what hope was like. I forgot how to dream. I forgot how to set goals. I forgot that I could achieve things. And now I'm like, man, how am I going to go open this business and start that business and travel to this country and, travel here and go visit Antarctica and swim with the, penguins or whatever the heck it is. I want to do everything. And so just the fact that knowing that I'm capable of doing all those things, no matter what the heck it is, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. So that's a cool place to be. And I think I can't speak for everybody else, but I lost that at some point in my
Mhm.
adulthood. And then just confidence. I lost confidence for a long time. You don't do what you think you're going to do or say you're going to do, and you lose confidence in who you are. I think my confidence is probably at an all time high. It's not cockiness. It's not insecurity. It's, hey, I know who I am and I love who I am. And yeah, I still have my struggles and I know what those are. And I don't know what some of them are, but I know that I love me and I'm fighting for a better future. And so I'm excited about that. And I could do anything. So those are my good things. Um, and then negatives. Do you got any questions about the good things first?
I mean, all I was gonna say is so we got you on the podcast, so that's awesome because remember you were hesitant
Yes.
on hopping on at first, and now you're
Yes.
like I'm in a place like you can hop on, you can feel good, so I'm stoked about that.
Yes. And not only that, at that same time that we talked, I was like, hey, I want to start my own channel. I want to,
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
want to get on social media with my Medicare business. I posted my first video yesterday. So I think I went through a little bit of a mental funk and I think when I have these big goals, I kind of like run from them a little bit.
Mhm.
Before I'm like, okay, it's time to go crush them and you can do it. And I think I go through a place of insecurity and I did. And so, yeah, not only this is just another like, hey, I can do big things. I can speak in front of this camera. It's okay to talk to, whoever's going to watch this video.
Uh-huh.
Like we're all humans just trying to figure it out. And so, yeah, I was planning
Uh-huh.
to post my first Medicare video. I plan on trying to post at least a few times a week, if not every day eventually. Once I figured out right now, every video takes me a long time. It's a little,
Uh-huh.
it's not easy, but, but it's
Yeah.
easy. It'll get easier once I learn it. It's just learning's tough.
Yeah. No,
So,
that's how it is though. You'll find out you're efficient like me where it's like it's going to take a while, but after a while you're going to create shortcuts and
mhm.
you'll figure it out. No worries.
Right, and most of
Um
it's just like figuring out what this tech is. Like, what does the tech actually do for you? How do I do
uh-huh.
it? What do I actually need to do to create this logo? This, and it's like, oh, that I couldn't find that button. So I'm like calling everybody, hey, where's this button to create this special effect? So I'll learn all that eventually.
Yeah.
It's
And
fun though.
then yeah, and then I want to go back to one other thing you said is you mentioned you're not necessarily happier than you were 4 years ago, but you have gratitude now. And it made me think of this quote that I have posted on my board is it's like you're not going to be happy until you realize the happiness you've been searching for was there all along,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah, no, I got a buddy, and he used to always be like, "Oh, I just want to have a Lamborghini and all these
Uh-huh.
things and all these things." And I'm like, "Yo, that's not happiness, homie. Like,
Uh-huh.
if we're miserable now, we're still gonna be miserable then until we figure out this and this."
Yep.
And and yeah, I think that's what life is, right? We're just trying to figure it
Uh-huh.
out. We're just trying to figure out how to be joyous and how to be loving and how to love ourselves and how to connect with others without getting caught up in all the hoopla, the propaganda, and the politics and this and that. Like we're all just humans. We're all just animals walking around trying to figure it out.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's cool.
Nice. So what are these challenges?
Okay, negatives or challenges. I think you always struggle with self-worth battles growing up, in general. So
Uh-huh.
just like I was saying a second ago, like, we talked about the podcast a few months ago. I bailed on that, put my social media stuff on hold, and then now I'm doing it. So you kind of go in these ebbs and flows, right? And so just
Yep.
a self-worth, like, hey, am I good enough to do these things? Yes, I'm good enough. Of course I am. And so that's a thing that's probably always going to happen. And when I do those things, it goes into my next thing is like just kind of numbing out. I've spent these last few months of like numbing out through, weed, through pickleball, really through just kind of keeping my brain going. Sometimes I get scattered brain when I want to do all these great things and I don't write them down exactly or don't organize them. They just sit up here and they
Uh-huh.
just like, I'm like a ping pong ball just going back and forth, back and forth. And
Uh-huh.
so I kind of run from it. And I've just been playing pickleball nonstop, lifting nonstop, just numbing out through activities in a way. Um, and so, and then my last thing I probably struggle on the most is just like how to enjoy working. Like how to enjoy like putting in time sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Uh, because sometimes I don't want to work. Like and I just don't even enjoy it. And I get this victim mindset, like, oh, I gotta be here and do this and do that. Like how poor me. And I don't know about everybody else, but I hate that I have that mentality at times. And I've never, like, it's been there for a long time, but I haven't been able to shake it sometimes where I'm like, yo, I actually want to lock in on this computer for 8 hours and I'm going to enjoy every bit of it. Instead, I'm like, oh, I've
Hmm.
been here for 2 hours. Like, I got to do six more. And like, oh, I can't click this button or I can't find this button. I turn into a victim and I start like complaining and like inside. And then I don't want to do it. And I get frustrated and I'll go to the gym. Right. And
Hmm.
like, instead of being like, yo, this is awesome that I get to like learn something new that is hard, even though it's not hard, but I get to create something. So I wish, and we're all made differently, right? Like maybe my
Hmm.
brain just is never going to ever be like that. But I wish that I would enjoy kind of the work that's involved sometimes. And sometimes I do, but sometimes I get burnt out and I don't enjoy it. And I wish I did.
Yeah. No, and I get that. And it reminds me of the statistic I listened to, which was eye opening to me because I think sometimes that can be our own doing, right? Our own expectations of thinking work should be. But I heard this thing that said like you're gonna love your job 20% of the time. 70% of the time, it's just gonna be whatever. And then you're gonna hate it 10% of the time. And it's
Hmm.
like, but that's probably pretty standard across the board. And it made me think huh, because a lot of times we think, we hear it from influencers stuff all the time. Like, I love my job. Every day is the best day. It's like I'm not even working.
Right.
And it's an unrealistic expectation because maybe there are always going to be exceptions. There's going to be people that is the case 100%, but it's a very small few. And most of us
Right.
are gonna be like that. Like, we're gonna love our job sometimes. Sometimes we're gonna be like, dude, it's just a job. I'm kind of bored, but it's fine. It's fine. And then yes, sometimes we're gonna hate it, but that's like actually probably very normal.
No,
So,
I mean, I'm sure, but and here's where I beat myself up a little bit
uh-huh,
because I know most people work way more than I do.
uh-huh.
And so when I'm not even, if I'm not working, and I shouldn't say work more than I do, maybe I'm just working in different hours. I don't have to clock in, right? So it's just a little
Yeah, yeah.
different. But if I know that Joe Schmo is putting in 40 hours of work for what
Uh-huh.
he makes, then why am I complaining if I haven't worked 40 hours yet this week in
Yeah.
my head, right? Like,
Mhm.
and early on in my career, I wouldn't have obviously like I would be working the whole 40 hours and maybe I've
Uh-huh.
taken a couple steps back in that because I financially can, but I still beat myself up for it. I'll tell you that.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, I got to learn. Maybe that's a part of a trauma thing too, is like, like you said, what's the definition of like business and how far you got to grow and what this and that? Like, I'm not doing bad,
Uh-huh.
but as soon as I get somewhere, I'm like, oh, I want more. Like, I've
Uh-huh.
already hit this goal and that's not enough anymore. Now I'm like,
Uh-huh.
you know, and when I don't hit up here, I'm like, ah, you suck. Even though I've already hit these goals that I never thought were possible. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Sometimes I don't enjoy doing the work, I'll say that. But we're
Dude.
getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. I have that too. Who knows? Maybe it stems back to third grade when we were trying to compete to see who gets their homework or their assignment done first. Who knows?
See,
You never.
I it probably does because if it's
Yeah.
spontaneous, I'm
Uh-huh.
in. Like, but if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
consistent, like just
Yeah.
give me a worksheet I can do quick. I'm in.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah. See, so it's like, hey, we got to finish first because if we don't, then what? Is it a
right,
self-worth thing? Is it, am I not as good as other people if I don't finish first?
right.
Who knows? It might have started way back then for us. You never know.
Well, that's where it all starts, really.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, everything we do stems from back then,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of crazy. Um, but I'll tell him Miss Creasel if she's still alive that you said that.
Yeah.
My trauma stems from her.
Well, I didn't say her, her class maybe.
That's a good point. Good point.
But, okay. So, next question. So who has changed your life that doesn't know it?
Okay, so this one's tough. My go-to answer is Steve Adams, but he does know it
Uh-huh.
because also in that August, I got to have a really cool conversation with him. And we really haven't talked much for like the last decade as I've been in
Uh-huh.
Colorado and really as an adult, but he just impacted my childhood so much as like being a safe father figure. But
Uh-huh.
I was able to tell him really in very deep
like in very in depth, how important he was to me. But the people I haven't told really is the Kana family.
Mm,
Yeah, like yeah, honestly, man, house. My time at home was tough as a kid, and I never got to leave. I would be outside playing in the sticks by myself all the time with the dogs. That was my childhood of I didn't want to be in the house. I didn't want to be sitting around. I was going to fight with my brothers, fight with my sisters, or fight with my dad. So
mhm,
I was outside all the time. Um, and really, the only time I ever did any cool activities or fun activities was with Chris. Like I ain't never had a chance to get on a boat. I never rode four wheelers. I didn't have any of that kind of stuff growing up. Like,
mhm,
I didn't have, honestly, like, not that they were rich, but they had money to at least go do things and like have snacks at the house, like that kind of stuff. Whereas, like, with my parents, I don't want to get too far in detail because it ain't about them and shaming them. They're great. But my dad had his snacks and he got snacks and when we were not about to get snacks. Like that wasn't how it just wasn't how it was. Like,
yeah,
you eat your dinner, your breakfast, and that was what you were getting. And my dad would have ho-hos like locked away in a chest. So but like over there, like we could have a soda, we could have like chips, we could have, so just simple things like that that people don't even like most people don't even think are like a big deal, but like just being able to have those freedoms that I felt like other kids were getting. But also just like, guy back then, and guy's still a good guy. He's a great guy. But guy was just a funny dude. He was just a funny, soft-hearted guy. And
mhm,
him and Chris would just laugh all the time together. And that was so hilarious to watch and be around. And Dee Dee, I mean, how do you get more loving than Dee Dee? She
mhm.
basically like took me in as her own kid, and so did Guy. Really, they treated me as their own. I slept on Chris's floor all the time. I went over that house all the time, and yeah, without them, my childhood would have been so much worse. And so, yeah, if they ever see this, very thankful for them.
Yeah. So if they do see this, because sometimes they do tune in, I think, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, Guy, thanks for just being a fun dad. Thanks for always being a joyous, fun dad. Don't get me wrong, as we've gotten older, been some pain there, but as a kid, you were just probably the funnest thing I think of. Dee Dee, just thanks for being loving. Honestly, Dee Dee and her mom, she was I think it
Mhm,
was Carol, I forget. And Dwayne too. He's just a soft-hearted dude. That whole family is just so
mhm,
soft-hearted and loving and caring and connecting. And yeah, I just hope she knows that she's loved and that I'm just thankful for her time and thankful for her really just emotionally hugging me as a child.
mhm,
It was a big deal. And then Chris, dude, we had the funnest time, dude, as a kid. When he moved here, I think it was in third grade until probably sixth, seventh grade. We were really inseparable. We fought all the time on the bus, just kicked each other's ass all the time, just for fun. Like it was just a
yeah, yeah.
blast. And, we hung out all the time. Like it was just my dude. And, I kind of probably I don't want to say lost my way, but started playing sports in junior high and high school and probably have just went a different direction than Chris did. And we kind of started separating a little bit. And not that we weren't friends, but we definitely weren't the same as when we
Mhm,
were really young. Right. And obviously he went through his own battles and that was, yeah, tough in its own way. And that distanced himself in certain ways. And so, yeah, but those younger days, he was my dude, my guy, and my
mhm.
bestie for real. So yeah, that's what I would say. Which
Hey.
what's cool is because of I'm getting older, I'm trying to reach out to all like my people who really impacted me is like growing up, and so Chris was one of them. And when I
Mhm,
was back at the lake last, I went over to his house for the first time, and I don't know when since I was a long time, and so it was
mhm,
just good to like spend time with him and get to catch up and see him and his dad and his artwork and his new hobbies and just kind of his life. And, you know, he still loves black. It's
Uh-huh.
never came like, yeah, he loves black. So, that hasn't gone. And yeah, so it was good to catch up with him. I'll say that.
Nice. Love that. Okay. So next question. So what's a skill or talent you could share with us?
Yeah. So this is a little different. Where is that? Really, I don't need this, but, um, a skill or talent that I can share with you. Really, I don't have anything physical. I will kind of really my skill and talent is vulnerability and connection and
Uh-huh.
love. That's it. Like, be open. There's no reason to hide shit from people. Like, be open with yourself. Be open with people. It makes it better. I was just having a talk with Jacob Flynn, actually earlier today, and we've been disconnected for a while, and then we were talking, and he's going through some stuff, and which we all are, right? And I just was telling him like, how are you supposed to ever work through it if you you only talk to yourself? Like, how are you supposed to learn from just yourself? Like, you don't fix your own motor if you don't know how to fix a motor. So why would you not like talk to your friends and family and people that love you to help you kind of work through it? And that's just like humans in general. I think we all think we're alone in a lot of this stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'm tough. I got to figure it out. I can figure it out on my own. I'm a man. Well, that's just all hoopla. That's like that you read one day or your old school dad told you, and it's just crap. And so, yeah, I think my skill set is just sitting down with somebody and off the wall having a deep, meaningful conversation that they never expected and that will impact them.
Uh-huh.
And I was really blessed with a gift of really finding something that will actually connect with them and to their core. Um, yeah. So that's my gift.
I like it. So, dude, I haven't heard the name Jacob Flynn in forever, by the way. So
I
tell him hi for me because
will.
we used to do hurdles together when he was younger.
That's
So,
crazy. Yeah. We were
dude,
seniors, he was a freshman.
yeah, I forgot about that. See if he remembers the nickname Mayo. We gave him the nickname Mayo. See if he
Okay,
remembers that.
I'll ask him. I told him I was doing this podcast with you today. He knew who you were.
Yeah, sweet. I love that.
I'll ask him. Hey, yo, what's up,
Okay.
Mayo?
See if he remembers it. Someone brought that to my attention. I think it was like Ethan DeGraffenreid or something. I had him on the podcast a few
Oh,
ago, and he said it. I was like, dude, you're so right. I totally forgot about the nickname.
ah,
Yes. So
that's
okay,
funny.
okay, I
I'll
dig
ask him
that.
about it.
Okay, so now, what is something you're learning about currently that you can teach us?
What is something I'm learning about currently? Hold on, what did I? Really, I don't know if I could teach it, but
Mhm.
really, just if I could just say, I hope you figure it out sooner than later, is just understanding the power of gratitude.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it just being grateful for things is just so powerful. Like, it just changes your whole perception of everything in your day. Yeah, negative things are going to happen. There's going to be bumps in the road, right? Like, but understanding those bumps usually cause joy on the other side a lot of the times, or something meaningful or an impact for you that's going to help you later on. I just, yeah, it's just been life changing for me. So I didn't really have something like
Mhm.
learning that I could teach you. I mean,
Mhm.
I could teach you how to make a TikTok green screen now. Uh,
Nice.
I could teach you how to write some Medicare business or play some pickleball, if
Yeah.
you don't know very much. But um, that's kind of what I do is just work, play with my dogs, and Medicare,
Yeah.
or I
So
mean, in
then,
pickleball.
yeah. So then, real quick. So then, how do you? How are you grateful for things? Like, what is your gratitude practice? Because everybody has a different one. It seems like.
Well, I don't fully have like I'm not really like a set things in like a practice type of guy. I don't
Mhm.
like wake up every morning and I got to say three things of gratitude.
Okay.
It seriously is just like, I don't know. I tell myself how blessed I am all the time. Like,
Okay.
it's not, I just kind of continue to try to tell people how blessed I am. The more I say it out loud,
Mm-hmm.
the more I feel it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just have kind of started saying it more. Like, I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying that for like 6, 7 months now, and it just keeps happening. And I have this fear in the back of my head, and this is trauma, right? Where I'm like, oh, when's the shoe gonna drop? Like,
Mm-hmm.
when's the bad stuff gonna happen? And there are bumps along. There has been bumps. There's
Mm-hmm.
been bad things. Stacy and I got in a huge argument the other day. We don't argue hardly ever. Like, but this was a nasty one. It wasn't fun. But that doesn't mean life's bad. It just means
Mm-hmm.
there was a hiccup, right? Where we get to talk about it and we get to heal and we get to repair and we get to learn a little bit about each other that we might not have knew before that argument.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you look at it like that, those negatives, what could be a negative of, oh, we're
Mm-hmm.
arguing, this is bad. No, we just our relationship got better because we argued
Mm-hmm.
in a way, and because we chose to, I don't know, put effort in fixing that, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
was, And so,
Yep.
yeah, I think just the power of knowing bumps are going to happen, but I'm super thankful for Stacy. I never would want anybody else in my life. But so I can be grateful and be angry at the same time, even though I'm not angry at her. I'm angry at that. Will Smith said this back in the day in one of his podcasts or something with Jay Shetty. And he would say, people don't really get mad at people. And he didn't really phrase it like this, but really you get mad at not understanding how to fix the situation in here a lot of times. Like, why am I angry? Because I don't know how to communicate, or I don't know how to solve this issue that's going on in front of me. He said, he it just made sense to me. He's like, 2+2 used to make you angry until you learned that 2+2 is 4. And now it doesn't even affect you. Just like, when I learned that I could walk away from a bad conflict and I learned to walk away, now those bad conflicts don't get as bad because I learned to just walk away in a way. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like learning. You're just always learning. I don't know where I went with that rabbit hole, um, but yeah, I'm just like, I'm just grateful, honestly. And I just say it a lot. I believe in speaking things into existence at this point. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Joe this earlier, um, and we talk a lot about it, but like in my Medicare business, when I'm not working hard, business doesn't come my way. Like God or the universe or whatever you believe in. Like, I think energy and relationships and all that kind of stuff has to be pretty reciprocal.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm putting in hard work, I feel like business that should never come my way just comes my way. It just falls in my pipeline. Like people
Mm-hmm.
call me, hey, I need Medicare help. Right. But when I'm like going through a funk and I'm not putting investment into my work, people don't call me for work for Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I mean that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm having a rough business year this year in a way, like to my normal standards, but I also haven't put a lot of effort into my business. And so for me, it just makes sense that I'm not getting that reciprocated, or I
Mm-hmm.
am getting it reciprocated, really. Like the least amount of effort, the least amount of results. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, where I was going with that too, I go down rabbit holes, man. Um,
I'm here for it.
cool. But yeah, gratitude in general, I just happy guy.
Okay. So now what are you doing for fun?
Yeah. So I play a lot of pickleball. That's my
Okay.
addiction right now. Like mad addicted to it. Probably play 4 or 5 days a week if I can. Yeah, if I can find it. I do some 2K, not very much. So some like Xbox or PlayStation really, but not very much. Throw a lot of disc golf. We kind of get out and we travel a lot. Um, yeah, I'm in Missouri quite a bit. We travel quite a bit if we can. We just got back from Cancun, so that was cool. We did some diving, but really just hanging out with my friends. I don't think I've ever really grown up. I think I'm always going to be like a kid. I like having fun. Like I hang out with, if I don't sit at home a ton, unless I'm like, I've learned over these last few years, and honestly, I learned this with Dason McNerney. I lived with him a few years ago, right before he passed away. Um, and that was the first time I ever, because I've been living with my best friend, my roommates for like since 2013 most of the time. And so I've always had my friends just living with me, in a way. And so, yeah, I was living with Dason, but Dason was going through his own battles and, and I was kind of doing my own thing. And we weren't like really close friends. It was just like it fit well for him, it fit well for me. And he was trying to help me out with giving me a place to stay while I was building my business. Um, and I was, for that, that was the first time I was able to learn how to like, hey, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to have
Mhm.
peace and just chill. Because before that, I always had to be doing something. And like I had to be with a
Mhm.
friend of some sort. I never wanted to do anything alone.
Mhm.
Um, and now I enjoy my alone time, but I still am a very active, go out and hang with my friends. Anybody want to play pickleball? Anybody want to play disc golf? Who's going to, hey, Joe, when you go to the gym, let's go to the gym together. So always trying to do something with somebody. So yeah, that's what I do for fun.
Nice. See, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you mentioned it earlier about, how we viewed our parents, or we viewed them as dads or adults, and then we were kids, but then you realize that like we're all kids. Like there's no point where we're just like, I was a kid and now I'm an adult. It's like you have adult responsibilities, but at the same time, like I think the problem is I think a lot of us when we get older, we lose our curiosity, our youthful nature. We
Mm-hmm.
lose these little things which we should never lose. And that's why some of the some of the people that I look up to the most are the people that have the most fun. Like, it's like
Yeah.
because that's what life is. Like, if you're not enjoying
It's
life,
what,
what are you doing?
and yeah, like that's, I tell people this all the time. I want to be the youngest dude in the room everywhere I go. Like and I don't mean that like physically. I just want to be like a kid everywhere I go in a sense because kids, I think of my little nephew, Michael, which was named after me. So that's kind of cool. Even though I don't like it. It's in certain ways because my mama calls me Michael. Now she doesn't call me Michael because she calls him Michael. Now
Uh-huh.
she calls me Jeremy. Not a big fan of that. But, I think of Michael, my nephew, and he's 4 and he's just this little ball of like, ooh, everything is limitless, right? Like I could do
Uh-huh.
anything. There's no fear. There's no anything. And he's just this big ball of fun. Like all I want to do is have fun. And there's
Uh-huh.
no care in the world. Well, why should we ever change that? In a sense, like I get that we get older and like you said, we got responsibilities, like, but why did getting old mean not having fun? like like I don't
Uh-huh.
care to go out and drink and party and all that kind of stuff. That's not fun to me. Like
Nope.
I want to just go have fun and laugh and play my sports and nerd out or whatever that might be and play a board game, go on a hike. And I always want to be around fun people. I don't know. It's just kind of always been addicted to it. So yeah,
I like
fun.
it. Okay. So we got only a few questions left. So this was also one of my favorite parts of the podcast. So we've covered a lot of topics today. So now, if we were to write a story from when you were born to now, what would that story be called?
This was a hard one.
Okay.
Um, the journey of understanding love and connection through the chaos of understanding humans and myself.
Okay, you're gonna have to say that again. That's the longest title I've ever had on this podcast. So what do we
E-
got?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So the journey of understanding love and connection through the chaos of understanding self and humans. And I just put humans slash self, but really self
Okay, so through the chaos of what?
of understanding humans or self or humans or whatever you want to put.
Okay.
But really understanding self and other humans. So I just put self slash humans, but yeah, so that's what came to mind.
Okay.
I didn't know how to just make a title. Like I was like, I'm not good at just saying 2 worders. like,
Yeah. My only thing is I got to figure out how to fit that on the YouTube thumbnail. That's all.
oh shoot. Oh, that's the title?
Always,
Oh
always. So
shoot.
every title on the podcast has always been their story.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, I
Dude.
just didn't know, like in a way, like this is my story. Like I love love and connection. That's my thing. That's just like who I
Mhm.
am. Like How do I help people understand it? How do I understand it? I'm addicted to talking about it. I'm addicted to humans, but
Hmm.
also like that's through the lens of my chaotic brain. Yeah, I was given a gift of just connection, but I also have my own trauma and my own chaos, and I'm ADHD, and I've had to work through so much shit. Like, how do I know what's right and wrong? Or, how do, so yeah, trying to understand love and connection through all the chaos I've been through. And I feel like that's just maybe everybody's story, really.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's perfect. I dig it. Okay, so now this is the part of the podcast where you get to basically you can either share stuff you're working on, if you have any business stuff you want to pitch, if there's any topics we didn't cover that you want to talk about. This is kind of like your time on the podcast to talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, so I don't have a ton. I'm not big on selling myself, but yeah, if anybody does watch this video, and anybody who knows anybody on Medicare, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help them as well. I feel free to follow me on all of my social medias. It's either Medicare Mueller or Jeremy Mueller with Medicare. You can find it.
Mhm.
Um, and that's just starting. So I've never been able to talk about that stuff before. So
Mhm.
that's the only thing I can really think of. I don't really have a lot besides like my business. Um, if you want to share some love, if you ever want to have an emotional, great conversation, I'm all about weird, deep conversations. So feel free to reach
Mhm.
out to me. I'm always enjoying a weird, deep conversation. So, but yeah, that's it. I don't really have much
Okay.
when it comes to sharing stuff with people about me. I guess I just like talking about the deep stuff.
Okay. Sweet. Me
So,
too. Okay. So this is the last question on the podcast. So how this one works particularly is the last guest left a question, not knowing it's for you, but you're going to answer this one. I didn't tell you ahead of time, so you got to come up with it on the spot. And then, and then
I'm
you get to
sweaty right
create a,
now.
and then you get to create a question for the next guest, not knowing who it is. So here we go. Are you ready for your question?
Let's go.
Okay. So this question is, what's one thing that will be on your greatest hits list? So of your life, essentially.
Just helping others through self-struggle, self-worth issues. I don't know how to explain that exactly in like just a couple words, but yeah, having the tough conversations with people. And I don't mean like tough conversations like, oh, you need to do better. I mean like the tough conversations and like, hey, you're hurting, let me hold you. Let me help you figure out where you're hurting. In a way. Just
Mhm.
being willing and vulnerable enough to have the tough conversations about trauma and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
I mean, that's if that's on your greatest hits list.
I think,
If it's being an ear for people who are struggling.
yeah, you know,
Mhm.
having a contagious smile would also,
Mhm.
people tell me all the time, like, yo, you got a great smile. You should just, thanks for smiling so big. Um, and just being a big ball of positive energy most of the time.
Nice.
That's it. That would be some of my stuff on my greatest hits. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what question do you want to leave the next guest?
So this is a question. How do you work through big fears to get closer to your dreams and goals? Like, I mean, big fears, not just like, that's a little tough, but like when you're making life changes and you're scared, like, we're all working through fears every day, right? You started this podcast, right?
Mhm.
Well, this was a big goal for you at one point, and now you do it like it's nothing. And you had to overcome some fears to get there,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I
Okay.
guess I guess for me in my life, I'm learning how to overcome those fears. And I've overcome a ton, but like the social media thing is for when I'll go down some rabbit holes and scroll nonstop for a little bit, but I don't like. I'll share somebody else's post and I'll share it to my story, but that's quick and easy if I think it's
Mhm.
meaningful. But I don't ever create my own content or post my own stuff. I don't ever do anything like that. So yeah, this whole social media thing is a huge fear for me, and I got to overcome it. So yeah, knowing how other people do that, good to hear.
Yeah. So how are you overcoming that right now?
Well, just by slowly doing it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like, I've been scared. I'm good at like, oh, if I don't set us an actual deadline, then I'll just push and push and push.
Uh-huh.
And so last week we had a meeting the other day about like social media, and I committed on that meeting that Friday I would have all my accounts made, and Tuesday
Uh-huh.
I would post my first video, no matter what I look like, no matter what. And it took me like 7 hours to make. Honestly, I had the worst day. Like, that was the biggest argument I've had with Stacy in forever. And yeah, I really was like, I almost said, forget it. Like, I'm leaving. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. And then I said, no. Cody, like Cody mentioned, like, he just mentioned this comment about like, I just, everything I say I'm going to do, I just do. Like, if I say
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And so
Uh-huh.
that is, I struggle with that. Like, goes back to our earlier in our conversations. Like, sometimes following through with that kind of stuff is like committing to it instead of numbing out. And
Uh-huh.
so, yeah, no matter how hard it was, and I didn't want to do it on Tuesday, and I didn't eat until it was done. Honestly, I just kind of was in my head. So I didn't eat all day, and I posted like 7 o'clock at night. And
Uh-huh.
but also by doing that, I was super proud of myself. Like, that's the cool part about doing what you say you're going to do. You get to be proud of
Uh-huh.
yourself. You get to
Yep.
feel that's what creates confidence, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
and so really for me, yeah, setting a deadline on it. And so tomorrow I also have another deadline of 1 or 2 more videos created. And so I'm going to go create 1 or 2 more videos tomorrow. Um, and I just have to do that. If I give myself, oh, I can wait till the next day, then I'm going to push it till the next day, and I'm going to push it
Uh-huh.
till the next day. And so, yeah, I think for me, maybe setting a deadline and sticking to it. The moment I give up on myself, that first deadline, it's so much easier to give up on the next one,
Uh-huh.
and easier on the next one. Like working out. That's one thing we haven't talked about in this podcast, which is fun.
Uh-huh.
But at our age, what I've noticed, Ricky. So let's tell you a little story. Um, October of what? This is 26, so 24. I got a fitness coach,
Uh-huh.
and I started working out again. First time I had like lifted or like anything in over a decade. Um, and I was getting stronger, doing better. I could feel like walking up hills was easier, this kind of stuff, but I wasn't eating right. Never lost any weight, like 5 pounds. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then January hits, he puts me on a restriction. I start actually cleaning up my diet, and I get down to 200 pounds. So from like 236. So I lost like 36 pounds.
Uh-huh.
August, I stopped being intentional of 2025. So last August, I was at 200 pounds. And by February 6th, I was 232 again,
Mm.
just because I wasn't intentional about what I'm
Yep.
eating or about moving my body. So, and now being intentional again, started working out at the beginning of the year, started eating right on February 8th, and now I'm down to 207. And so it's just about like at our age, like when it comes to health and fitness, like you actually have to be intentional about what you put in your body, like the coffee, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, or what's not, nourishing our body or like helping our body be better. And you got to be intentional about moving your body. Like,
Uh-huh.
it is just so reflective when you're not intentional and when you are, at least for me. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm not, I can look at cookies and gain 3 pounds. Right.
Uh-huh.
That's for real. So I don't know where that came up, but yeah.
No, well, you're right. I mean, it's all about habits, right? And what it looks like is our physical form, our body is a perfect example of how we're showing up in life, right? It's the physical manifestation of how we're showing up. So if we're heavier, what is the reason? Oh, I'm snacking more, I'm chilling more, I'm not doing
Right.
stuff. It's like, so then the minute, you start losing weight, what are you doing? You've changed your whole habit and your routine, right? So
Yeah.
it's a physical manifestation. So the goal, especially for me, was all about, because I took off for a while working out, and then I got back into it 5 years ago, and I committed like, hey, you're working out 5 times a week, and you're not going to miss it. And dude, in 5 years, I've only missed that probably 2 or 3 weeks, and even then I still worked out those weeks. I didn't not
Right.
work out, but that was the not doing 5 times, and it's like when you can make commitments with yourself and follow through on it, it becomes a habit. It becomes automatic. Like, I go to the gym all the time. Like, I go on lunch breaks. I go whenever it makes sense, and it's funny
Yeah.
because I don't even think about it. I just go.
It just go, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
I gotta say, when I don't go to the gym now, I can feel it mentally.
Uh-huh.
Like, I truly can feel it. Yesterday had a mental fog all day, like, was just like I had something, like, I just couldn't release it. And went and played pickleball for 3 hours, and, like, I got home just feeling like all the pressure off my body was gone. Like,
Uh,
just moving my body and getting that physical exertion and getting that oof out is we just need it as humans. And so, yeah, that's been a huge thing. And that's another thing of gratitude. I talked about gratitude earlier.
Yeah.
Another reason I'm so grateful is like I'm fifth, well, not right now, but like at 236, I'm like 55 pounds, 60 pounds overweight, if you think about it. Like, that's crazy.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
wild, right? But at 230, whatever, I'm still out there playing basketball. I'm still playing pickleball. I'm still
Mhm.
doing stuff. I'm still able to
Mhm.
like go out and move. And the fact that my body, I can in a way be lazy and not do anything to help myself out physically. And my body's like, yo, Jeremy, I got your back. You keep being a lazy ass and I'll just keep carrying us because I got you because I'm a beast.
Mhm.
And like, I'm so thankful that our bodies are beasts. Um,
Yeah.
and that I got a healthy body and that even though I haven't taken care of it and I've given up on it for 10 years, I'm getting back at it now. But like, it's like, Jeremy, I got your back. When you come
Mhm.
back, I'll be here for you. But I'll hold it down the fort until you get back. And so, yeah, I'm just really, really blessed that I can still do so many activities and things, even though I've let my body go for so long. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's a cool thing to be grateful for too.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jeremy, it was awesome having you on the podcast, by the way. I'm glad we made it work.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me. Honestly, you know, Ricky, this is just going to help me in the future. Like, I've been
Uh-huh.
wanting to do my own podcast, my own thing at some point. I will. But I'm also been scared to be on camera. And so
Uh-huh.
this is just another first step and another great step to help me grow confidence and work through some fear. So I appreciate that.
No, you're welcome. And yeah, you're a natural, Jeremy. You're not going to have any problems at all doing your podcast as far as being on camera, by the way,
I
based on this
mean,
podcast.
that's what people say, but it doesn't
Okay.
mean I don't feel the same way. I'll say that.
Hey, you just got to believe it. That's all.
All right. If you
So,
want, you can go follow me though.
okay. Hey, I will. If I might have you, how long have you had your channel?
Which one? YouTube?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I followed it already because I can't remember if I
I don't
followed it if you just posted, then I haven't followed it yet.
No, I just posted for the first
Okay.
time. I
I'll
mean,
go
I just
follow it
created
then.
them all. I just created them all the other day.
Okay, sweet. Then I'll do that right away then.
Yeah,
Okay.
so follow me. Cool.
Sweet.
I
Okay.
hate saying that, dude, more than anything.
That's okay. It's
Follow me,
okay.
dude.
Follow me, like
God,
and
I've never been that
subscribe. Yep.
guy. I've
I
never,
know.
yeah, I used to be the guy that wouldn't like an Instagram post because I didn't want to give into the culture of liking
I know. I feel you 100%. It's like
and
feels
now I'm like my
inauthentic,
post so it could
but
get
now, yep.
views.
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
So now I actually will like posts that I really like because I'm like, well, I should like this. You deserve this. Like, it's better. Instagram's
Dude.
making money
Yes.
regardless, right? So I should
Yep.
help the person creating the content.
100%. I do the same thing now. Ever since I started the podcast, now I actually like things and stuff because I would just watch videos and I wouldn't like, and then I like, oh, I know how much I appreciate it. So yes, I'm going to start
Right.
liking everything I enjoy. Yeah,
And videos take time. Like,
they do.
shoot, I only made 1 minute and 46 minute or one minute and 46 second video, and that took me 6 hours. Now,
Yeah.
granted, it won't always take that long,
Nope.
but it it did. So, all right,
Yeah.
my dog's yelping.
Okay.
They gotta go take a poo.
Okay.
So,
So real quick. So one thing I
yes,
like to do before we close off is I want you to just tell the audience something. So if it's a piece of advice or something to leave the podcast with, what words of wisdom you want to give them?
man, there's a few different things. Try pickleball if you haven't. because
Okay.
it's awesome and it creates
Okay.
so much joy no matter what level you are. Just a
100%.
great community. So try pickleball. That was one. I had two more on my mind and I just lost them. So that was the basic one. But learn how to practice gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
That really wasn't one of them, but dang it, Ricky, I had, what was the question again? And then I might come back.
It was just, what do you want to leave the audience with before we close out?
Yeah. Oh, hug your people, love your people. Like, yeah, stop worrying about politics and all that BS. Like, they're going to do what they're going to do. Love your community, hug your people, and help them. If they're not talking to you, ask them why not. Why aren't they talking to you? Because usually when people are quiet, something's going on. So, yeah, talk to your people, hug them, love them, be intentional when you say your goodbyes and hellos. So that's it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, on that note, Jeremy, thank you so much. And I'll catch you
Thanks,
later, man.
See ya. Have a good one.
See ya.